Hello everyone and welcome back to Retro Recall. I hope you're doing awesome. Today we have the Lenovo X201 back on the bench. What a beautiful sight. I love all Lenovo machines. This is the ultra portable machine from many years ago, and if you haven't seen the video I did on this, please check it out right there. It's a pretty cool video, really in-depth detail on this machine. Okay, so we're not here to talk about the Lenovo X201 today, actually. We're here to talk about a game from my past, something that we played on the family. I believe it was a 286 at the time. My brothers would have introduced me to it. And this particular game had a couple different versions. And this version I'm going to be playing today is the one that has kept up with me. It's something that I've used many, many times over the last couple decades now, to be honest. And, you know, everyone has their Doom and everyone has their Quake and everybody has their Hexen and Heretic and all those games that, first-person shooters you played back in the day, Wolfenstein 3D, etc. I can't wait to show everyone this today, so let's get right to it. And here we are all zoomed into the beautiful screen. And just again, being as old as the system is, I just love this laptop as well. And just everything about this machine, I just love. Okay, we're going to jump into DOSBox. Yes, I am going to use DOSBox. And so normally, depending on the system you have, this is something that I kind of toy back and forth with. As you know on the channel, I am a fan of original hardware. I do everything I can using spinning Rust, as we call it, and install the software all locally. Now, in this particular case, I am going to use DOSBox today. And, this is not a tutorial on DOSBox, and I'm well aware that this version of DOSBox is an older version, and that's quite fine. It's just something that I've used over the years. It just stays on the system, and I use it for if I want to get a quick fix of some of my older games I used to play back in the day, I will load up this system and we will go from there. So, this is not a tutorial on DOSBox. So if you have any questions about this application, they have quite a bit of tutorials, a lot of YouTube videos on this program. So definitely encourage you to use it. If you're looking to get into retro computing, this is a pretty cool application to do so for some of the older games that you want to use. Okay, so I'm just going to mount my drive. So I'm going to mount C:\DOS, because I have a directory on my computer called DOS, and that's where I have some of my games. So I'm just going to go C drive and dir, so that way you can see that we have quite a few games on there. So I have Caesar 3, and I have Chess, and Doom 2, and Duke Nukem, and Jedi Knight 2, I believe I have there. Commander Keen 1 and 2, or actually I think it's Keen and Keen 2 just for my sake of my file directories here, but this is definitely, I believe, Commander Keen 4. One Must Fall, Star Wars, Stunts, if you remember Stunts, pretty cool, awesome game. Trek, which we're going to jump into in a moment. Typing Tutor, which is how I learned to type originally when I was a kid, and Star Trek Unity. So these are games that I just have on this little laptop because this laptop is thin and light, even for what it is, and I sit on the couch occasionally and play some of these games when I just want to go back and relive some of the past. EGA Trek. So this game itself, let's go into it so everyone can see it, and I'll make it a big screen. There we are. So EGA Trek, the Mongol Invasion. So this was made by Nels Anderson, and this is 1994 version. There are different versions of this particular software. I mean, obviously, it says revision 3.1. And so this is kind of a take on, Star Trek, of course. And, the Mongols are supposed to be Klingons, is to my understanding. And then, of course, they have other creatures and life on this in this game that you'll see as we go through. But I just want to kind of guide everyone and go through the game itself and actually go through a whole game and play it, just to kind of show everyone how cool this game would have been even in 1994. And it's all keyboard based. There's no mouse involved. So welcome aboard, Captain. Will you require a briefing? No, I won't. And if you say yes, it just walks you through a tutorial of this game. So restore a save game. So it's really cool that you have the ability to save the game if you're in the middle of something, but I'm going to say no for now. And please enter my name. So I'm going to go Captain Picard. One of my favorite characters. I know, I'm going to get slacked down inside the comment section. So verification, please enter your command level. So your command level is all the way from 1, which is ensign, I believe, or cadet, all the way to 5, which is admiral. So it gets, as you go from 1 to 5, it gets increasingly difficult, and the challenges you'll experience throughout this game. For the sake of variety, I'm going to choose 3. It's the middle of the road. That way everyone can see kind of like an equal mix or balance of the different features of this game. And here we also have the USS Lexington. So RCB-92 is the registry number. Okay, we're going to hit enter. And then it says, Captain, please enter self-destruct password. Yes, you can self-destruct your ship in this game because you don't want them to get into the hand of the Mongols. So we're going to go and just go 1111 just for our self-destruct password, just in case we know, in case we need it. Okay, so here is our main player screen. So let's go over a few basics here while we have a few moments. So up here on the left side is your star grid of your local sector. So then you see the little dots on the screen here are stars. You see this little kind of absence of a dot here. That is an actual wormhole. So if I end up going in there, actually I call it a wormhole, but more of a black hole. But if I go in there, it'll throw me to somewhere in the galaxy. And I don't want to do that because if I go in there with my shields down, it can cause damage to the ship or destroy me. Okay, let's go down here. So we have lasers. So we have efficiency. Right now, my lasers, or, they're your phasers, but essentially lasers, are at 100%. But it also, as you use them, the temperature goes up. And of course, as the temperature goes up, the efficiency goes down, which is causing damage to your phasers, I guess, or lasers. And then your commands. So basically all the different commands. If you type in help, I believe HELP, it gives you a list of all the different commands that you can actually use within the game. And then also it shows here what your actual objects are. So you have your ship, the Vandal, which I believe is like a Romulan ship. Then you have the Mongols. So you have the Mongol battleship commander, supply ship. Keep in mind the supply ships because you can get stuff from them if they surrender to you. You have the Mongol scout ship, the Mongol base. You have a friendly base, which is you have 3 different versions of bases, which we'll go into in a minute. You have a star, then you have a supernova essentially, and then a planet. And you want to avoid throwing torpedoes at the stars because they can go nova, throw you to a different quadrant, or they could potentially blow up. Now you lose points for blowing up those stars, but at the same token, if you end up hitting one of them and there's a ship next to it, or 2 ships, for example, you might end up blowing up those ships. These ships inherently are weaker than you are, being the ship that you are. So you want to make sure that you use whatever tactical advantages you can use. So under long range scan objects, so it's very critical you understand what these 3 numbers mean in your screen. So your 0 is no base, 1 is a star base, research supply stations, a 2, and 3 is a supply depot. Obviously, your starbase, you can repair your ship faster, you can restock on your energy, you can restock on your torpedoes, and things like that, and repair your ship faster, as I mentioned. You have a research station as well, and then you have a supply depot if you have a 3 in the middle, and the supply depot, of course, is if you want to refill on your torpedoes or restock on your torpedoes. The first number is how many enemy ships there are, so number of Mongols. And then number 5, a number of stars. So how many stars are within the area. So keeping that in mind from a tactical point of view, because you cannot fire. You have to fire directly at the actual Mongols themselves. There's a star in front of you, or you need to navigate. You can't go through the star. So you have to go around it. And every time you move your ship, takes days away from your time. You'll see the star date up top. Stardate 3500.0, status currently is green. We have our energy, which is critical, that obviously the more energy and the more shields you have, the better your ship is. You have warp. We're currently set to warp 1, which we can exchange. There's 43 Mongols currently available to find within the galaxy, and your goal is to get down to 0. And then I have 9 torpedoes currently stocked. And then down here we have our plaque. So we have our USS Lexington, our CB-92, our Department of Space, our United Federation of Planets, if you will. And then here we have system status. So everything is green right now because there's no damage. We don't have anything here to report for damage. In this section, we're going to have a bunch of different messages pop up for us, which is, as we play the game, we'll see in a moment. So the first thing we're going to do is, the whole goal of this game is to go and explore different quadrants. And if you can see, I'm right in the center of this area. It is actually, my long-range scanners are going around here. So you don't have to visit every single one of them. If I end up going up to this one, it's going to show me these next 3. If I go up to, quadrant 2, 4, it's going to show all the different quadrants around me. And I hope I'm using that right. I hope I'm saying it's quadrant here and sectors when you're inside of it. I think that's what the terminology is. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is move my ship. Now, if I end up just moving, so the M command here, and I want to move within this quadrant, because I eventually want to go, north, which is 6, 4. So you always start on your x-axis and go to your y-axis next. So you have your 6 here, quadrant 6, 4. But I'm not just going to warp there right now, because if I try to warp directly from here without kind of navigating these stars, I'm just going to end up wasting time, wasting energy, and running into a star. It won't damage me, but worst case scenario, I end up in this black hole. So what I'm going to do is, we're going to move within this first and then move within this second. So I'm going to go to move 5, 3, 5, 3. So as you can see here, I'm telling it to move 5, 3, and I did. See, the ship just moved. And for safety's sake, I'm going to move past this black hole so I don't get sucked into it if I end up going to warp. I'm going to go move 2, 3. So there you go. I've just moved. But if you see, my start date has increased by 0.3 days because I did have to take time to navigate to this area on impulse. Now, because I'm going to be flying into an actual enemy zone, my long-range sensors are detecting 3 Mongols. I'm going to raise my shield, the up arrow on my keyboard, so it automatically said raising shields. And if you notice, my ship has turned yellow there. So it just tells me my shields are up. I'm going to go to warp 7 for my warp speed. So I said W7. Now, I can go warp 7.5 if I want. So if you see my commands that I'm doing, it's W7.5. And the help will actually walk you through all of this as well. But, warp 7 is pretty good because you have to balance energy use versus time in the game. Plus, when your shields are up and you're traveling at warp, it drains a lot more energy than if my shields are down like that and I decide to travel because it uses a lot less energy. You can travel a lot farther with your shields down. Okay, I'm raising my shields. Now I'm going to hit E for a moment just to show everybody the energy. So this, you can see already that I've used impulse power, and because I've raised my shields twice, it used some power here as well, some regular energy for my main energy. So it's very important you understand that every time you do an action, this energy goes down. There's ways to resupply your energy, whether it's going to a starbase or going to a planet and mining some engerium, not dilithium. We're going to go through all that in a moment. So we're not going to divert energy now. This is only usually used when you want to transfer energy from certain systems. If you're running out of power or you need laser energy, because if you're firing your lasers, they come directly from your main energy source as well. So it's important to understand that you can go in here and move things around. Okay, we're going to move to sector, or should say quadrant 6, 4. And so we're going to go move 6, 4. And I'm going to go comma, and I'm going to go 5, 5. I just wanted to go in this, try to go somewhere in the center of that particular quadrant. So move 6, 4. Comma 5, 5. That's my navigation. So I'm going to hit enter because I'm warp 7. You can see my main viewer. I've gone to warp. And you heard the sound because it's saying, hey, it's red alert. And my energy's gone down a bit because I've traveled at warp with my shields up. A Mongol just appeared. But now you can see there's not a lot of clear line of sight with my torpedoes. Remember before I told you that if I use torpedoes, so I hit T for torpedoes, how many do I want to fire? I only have 2 that are really direct line of sight. Maybe this guy up here, 1-6, if I decide to shoot, if the ship shoots this way. But I definitely cannot get number 2-8, which is a supply ship anyway. And you really don't want to fire torpedoes in this guy because, well, that particular ship is a supply ship and you want to make them surrender. So I'm going to hit 3, and you can only fire 3 at a time. And I'm going to go sector 1-6, sector 6-4, and, or I should say coordinates 8-4. And I'll hit enter. So I just fired 3 torpedoes. One was absorbed by the star. So it just, didn't go nova, didn't do anything, but it just kind of warned me and said, okay, it's been absorbed by the star. I was able to do damage on 2 of the ships. So as you fire on them, they get weaker. Now, they just sent reinforcements. Another guy came and visited me here. And it's damage down here. It shows your damage report. So my shields are absorbing the energy. But I'm going to hit MAX. I'm typing MAX, and that will automatically put my strength of my shields to max, but also my energy is starting to go down. So be mindful of that. I'm going to fire 3 more torpedoes now that someone's actually next to me here. So I'm going to go 4-6, 6-4, and 8-4. So the further away you are from the enemies, the weaker the weapons you have are. So it's important to be close enough to them to cause the damage you need to. But for the sake of the tutorial and what I'm doing right now, I'm just staying where I am. Hit torpedoes for 2 more. And I'm going to go 4-6 and 8-4. So that should destroy those 2 guys there. There we are. So we have 2 Mongols that are destroyed. Now I'm going to hit max on my shields. I do that between every volley just to make sure that I have enough power. And I go M, so for move, 3,6. And now I moved somewhere. Now, but keep in mind, though, when I move, it uses a turn. So therefore, it gives them an opportunity to fire back on my ship because it's turn-based. So I'm going to hit max again, or I'm going to type max again. 1 torpedo. I only have 1 left anyway. I'm going to fire at 1-6. And you notice I was closer to that ship this time, and I was able to destroy it faster. Now, this supply ship is just taunting me. So I'm going to go lasers, L, and I'm going to shoot an 80-unit burst at him. Nothing major. I just want to, tap on his shields a little bit. Laser again, 20. Yep, see, I just sent 100 total, and he's asking to surrender, so I'll hit yes. And I didn't get any supplies this time, but generally you can get different supplies you'll need throughout the game. Now, if I had shot, 300 unit or 200 unit or even 101 unit, it would have potentially destroyed him. Now, if you notice down here, there's a planet in the game. So I'm going to go down to move 7-5. See if I'm able to reach that from here. Yeah, I am. And I'll move 7-3. I'll lower my shields. Now, there's a planet, O for orbit. It says here, scanners show a Mongol supply station on the planet. So I'm going to go land, 2 for transporter. Okay, so I was able to get Mongol Ingerium. So Mongol or Klingon version of Ingerium is dilithium and life support supplies. Those are really critical, especially if you have life support problems. I'm going to start playing the game as we go through a little more quickly now, and I'm going to stop and narrate if I need to explain another part of the game. Here we go. Now I'll stop for a moment because this is a starbase, so I'm going to move adjacent to the base. So I'm going to move to 3-6. I'm going to hit D for dock. If you notice, my energy went up, my shields went up, all of my torpedoes got restocked. The administrator is telling me, hey, that would be the admiral or what have you of the starbase. And also, if I had damage, it would have been working on repairing that damage. Raise my shields because now I'm going to jump into sector 7-6. Now, I just tried to fly here, and it said move blocked by object at 7-8. So that's why it's important to move past those objects and then be able to fly down in that direction. I have a little more stronger foe here. We have a commander, which is the strongest of the 3 or 4 types of ships. And then it says here, my energy converter has been damaged. So if I do end up transferring any energy, it will of course be not as efficient as if it was 100%. And it's indicating that it's at 73%. And I've also increased my shields back to maximum. Now, I'm running into a situation now, my energy is getting a little too low, and I don't have any shields. Or sorry, I don't have any torpedoes. So now I have to use my energy, which is my lasers, or I can flee the system and go back to a starbase to restock. Now, in this case, I'm not going to. This case, I'm going to live dangerously, so I'm going to go to my energy converter. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to move energy from my shields to my main energy. I'm going to transfer 500, so I can shoot a volley of 500 to each. I'm going to use the energy of 500 to each. And I could use spare energy crystals or Ingerium crystals, but they won't let me use them until my energy gets dangerously low. And right now it's not considering in the game to be too low to be able to get out of the situation. So L for lasers, 500 to one, 500 to another. Now, unfortunately, my lasers are only at 50% efficiency, so it's probably going to take a lot more than that to knock down their shields. So I'm going to energy, yes, 3 to 1, because I'm moving energy from my shields up to my main energy. I'll do 800 this time, and we'll do lasers of 400 and 400. There, we were able to destroy them. And now, if you look, my energy is pretty darn low. I'm going to go use and choose raw Ingerium. Captain, I wish to remind you that this is extremely hazardous procedure. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes. Attempting to load it. Crystal is defective, caused damage to the system. So basically, it caused damage to my ship because it was unstable. However, if you noticed, I do have some Mongol Ingerium. So this stuff here, you do not have to wait till your energy is low. You can use it any time. So it's very important when you're traveling around to hunt down those planets and those ships. So I'm trying to load it. Now here we go. It says crystal loaded appears good. Energy levels increasing. So now I have if I go to energy, I have almost all my energy back. I want to take advantage of using this Mongol energy as opposed to just wasting it and going to explore a little bit. And yeah, I mean, I'm not going to necessarily go into battle right now just because I want to explore what is around me. And I just keep on jumping into the safe sections that I know. And here we are, we have a starbase that looks like it has 3 Mongols in the area. So I'm going to raise my shields. So I am going to use the energy to get there. I'm going to attack the Mongols and resupply. Notice how I put my shields up before I traveled. And I'm keeping at warp 7 because it seems to be a good balance of energy. Now I'm going to check my energy levels here because of all the different items in like the stars, a planet, everything in my way, I'm going to use my lasers for this. So I have lots of energy. I have 3,000 left. Hit laser. So remember, they're further away from you, the more energy it takes. So I'll do 600. Rule of thumb, I usually do 500 for all, unless it's one of the supply ships. So 5-7, we're going to do 500. And 4-5, we're going to do 100. And then we'll do 500 on the other ship. Now, we did some damage to them. I mean, equally though, they're doing some damage to us. So we're going to transfer energy from 3 to 1. And I'm going to do the same stuff again. Okay, so this ship is now surrendering. I'll hit yes. And now it's out of my way. I'm going to move to the starbase. And I'm going to dock. And there we are. I have full torpedoes again. And the starbase shields are protecting me for any future hits. There we are. I dock again. It automatically restocks all my stuff. Lower my shields. Move to 4. Move to 6. And we're going to go back to this message in a minute. So it says 6-2. So that is the other starbase in 6-2 that's calling out. And I don't see it currently on my long-range sensors. But essentially it's saying the starbase in 6-2 is under attack and only can last to 3509.0. So it's important that we go there in time. Before I do that, though, I'm going to orbit, and it shows destroyed settlement. I'm going to land anyway to see if there's anything on the planet. And it says here, there's Ingerium successfully mined, and that will come in handy later. So for now, because there's a distress call, I can either choose to continue to explore, or I'm going to go down in that area. I'm going to choose to go to that area and rescue my fellow starbase. I hit 5-2 accidentally instead of 5-3, so I have no idea if I'm going to land into a rat's nest or not. Let's see what happens. Yep, sure enough, I got attacked while my shields were down. I'm going to raise my shields, And while I'm waiting here, you can see I just received a distress call from Sector 27 saying they request evacuation and they can only last at 3.3507.5. So I don't have time for this guy, so I'm going to do torpedoes for 2. We're going to go 5-3, 5-3, fire 2 torpedoes at the guy. Oh, he's already, 1 was enough. All right, my shields are up. And I see another guy just came here, so I'll go torpedoes for 3. And we're going to go 6-3 for all 3. Oh, I didn't need to. His shields were already low enough. And that's where scanning would come into play. And I'm going to move, and if you see, it cleared out other sectors because those are guys that came in from other areas. I keep on saying sectors, you know what I mean, quadrants. And I'm going to keep my shields up. We're going to move 6-2, 5-5. I'm keeping warp 8. And if you notice, my warp engines are getting damaged because it considers warp 8 to be quite excessive in terms of speed. I'm going to go to max energy or max shields. I'm going to try to get up to that starbase because that starbase will protect me. So I'm going to go move 5-4. Now when I do this, you're going to see it's going to closer, more damage to my ship. You can see, and all of a sudden now I lost my short range scanners. And so that obviously is a problem, but I know where that starbase is. So I move 3-3 and I'm going to dock. And there we are. But you can see I'm protected now by the starbase shields. That's the trade-off you make versus going and completely destroying all the ships first with whatever stuff you have, or choosing to be protected by the starbase. But now, of course, I have issues with my systems. Now I'm looking at the starbase or star date of 3506. I just hit dock twice because when you're docked to a base, time of repair of your systems is much faster. So I'm going to fire 3. Oh, can't fire any sort of torpedoes. I can fire lasers though, and I can't fire the torpedoes because unfortunately the unfortunately my torpedo tubes are damaged, and I was able to do that. All right, now we're going to go to that planet settlement and hope I can get there in 0.4. I'm going to warp 9 because it's far away, and we're going to go 2-7, and it, according to this, is free from any Mongols, so let's see if we can get there in time. Now warp 9, can I get there in 0.4 of a day across the whole quadrant or the galaxy? And I can't. Not only can I not, but I got pulled by a tractor beam to another area. So I burned through all of my energy, my shields are down, I have a tractor beam, a long-range tractor beam, pulled me into this quadrant, and now I have to try to get myself out of this situation. And because right behind me, I don't know if you notice this, there's a black hole. It's very important to notice these things. I can't really fire torpedoes either, not only because they're damaged, but also the fact that, I'm going to raise my shields, because I cannot fire torpedoes through that. All right, I'm going to hit energy, yes. There we go. I'm going to go to laser. So 6-1, I'm going to do 600, try to weaken his shields. And 1-4 is just 100, because I'm going to try to get some out of him. And I don't have much energy here, because I only had 1,000 I transferred. Good news, he's surrendering, hit yes. And look at a whole bunch of stuff I got. So I got Engirium, which is what I need right now. Plasma bolts, which is their equivalent of a torpedo, and plasma bolt shields. So they fire one, I'm able to actually shield myself, and life support supplies. Okay, I'm gonna use Mongol Engirium. It says it's good. That's good news. I needed that. So let's continue on and destroy these guys. So now it's too late to rescue that ship. So I'm gonna keep my shields up, go to warp 7, and move to 3655. Okay, pretty straightforward. I'm just docking at the Starbase to heal my ship, or repair my ship, I should say. And I'm going to go fight the Mongols in... Go back to warp 7, fight the Mongols in 1-7. Okay, you just witnessed I wasn't able to attack this guy here because I'm way too far from him to use my torpedoes. Well, I should have just moved closer. I'll do that. And I'll put torpedoes for 2 because I'm close enough now. I will be able to destroy both these Mongols. There we are. And now we have some life support damage, so I only have 2 days of life support left, so you gotta be mindful of that. I'm just gonna head to the Starbase real quickly here. Actually, no, I'm gonna go down to 5-5 because there's a Starbase right adjacent to that area, and I'll be able to get 2 Mongols gone and be able to go back to the Starbase to stock up. So 1 torpedo, because I don't want to fire it at 1-4, I want to fire it at 2-8. There we are, and I'm going to use my lasers. And I see that someone just showed up there, and I'm receiving a distress call at the same time. So it says here, a distress signal is being received from a Union ship, so that's one of my colleagues. So I'm going to move into the center here, fire 2 torpedoes, one at 2-8 and one at 5-1. I'm going to use my torpedoes again. I only have 1 more left, but I'm going to fire it at the strongest ship, which has just appeared. I use my lasers again, and 1-4, only 100 to that guy, and then maybe 150 to the other person because I already fired a torpedo. See, there we go. And this guy's surrendering. I have some Ingerium, all those good things. And we're going to head to 8-2, which is unknown at the moment, but it is saying it's under attack. The first thing I'm going to do, because it is under attack and I don't have a lot of supplies and I'm running out of life support, I am going to use my life support supplies here. So it says life support supply 6. So I'm going to use option 4, and it replenished my life support a little bit there. So I'm going to move 6-5. I'm going to warp 8 because I'm close enough. Move 6-5 and get their ship repaired, and then head over and save one of my colleagues there. So move 4-8, dock. So now I've restocked all my stuff. And now I'm going to head to 8-2. Now warp engines are damaged by speed, of course, because I'm traveling quite far. And there we go. Here's my Union ship here. It looks just like me. And the ships are obviously firing on them. You have 4 against 1, which is no fair. So let's get this, let's even the match a little bit. So there we go. We'll fire my torpedoes at these guys. Even the match a little bit to, there we go. Now, a couple things to be mindful of. It destroyed the Union ship, so I was not able to save him. The commander has just fired a plasma bolt. Now, I have a plasma bolt shield, so I'm going to use that. So I'm going to use number 3. It says raising plasma bolt shield. Now I'm safe. If not, that thing can destroy your ship if your shields are down. If they're up, it can cause considerable damage. Okay, move 7-4, and my computer's offline. So, can't do anything there, so I'm going to go fire torpedoes, and I'm going to see if I can hit that star, because I actually want to. This is one of those times I'm going to see if it causes, yeah, so it would have caused damage to his ship. Now he's gone. All right, now I have to fix some things. So I hit F for fix, L for list, and then my computer's only 88% functional. So I want to concentrate on 2. Do I want to make them in space? Yes. And we'll put 0.5 of a star date. So that's half a day. We'll do the same thing again and see where we are. It says my computer's at 100%. Good. All right, so I'm going to move just to 4-8. It should restore my computer, which is great. All right, I only have 5 Mongols left. Let's finish this game. And there we are. This is our last section, and we know they're in there. So my shields are up. I'm going to move to 1-5, 5-5, and we're going to go out with a blaze in here. Torpedoes away. And yes, I just said that. All right. I'm going to fire 3 torpedoes. It's too late. I didn't realize he fired a plasma bolt. I'm going to take a brunt of this because I didn't have an opportunity to move my ship. And if I had just stopped my command to fire, it would have used my turn. And unfortunately, I don't have that option anymore. So let's just hope. Okay, I won. I was able to do it. So here we are. Captain, the results of your operations against the Mongol Empire have been evaluated. And there you are. You got to enjoy watching me play some EGA Trek from 1994. And, you know, like I said, this was version 3.1. It came out much earlier than that. Let's get all situated back on the bench here. And so there we are. We are back, and I really thank you, everybody, to indulge me on the journey of playing that game from my childhood. You know, it's one of those games that I really enjoyed playing, and it is something that, you know, I could get lost in hours. You can try different strategies. As you get up into the Admiralty, that game can get quite challenging with all the different rescue missions you have to go on. A lot more different types of the Mongol ships. And of course, the bases start to show up, and you only have 1 star base instead of 2 or 3 around the quadrant or galaxy or sector or whatever terminology I was using there. And quite frankly, you know, it gets much more difficult. And as you can see, this is revision 3.1. There are older versions than this that I used to play, black and white versions. I used to actually have this for my Palm Pilot, my Palm 3XE back in the day, and I used to play it quite a bit. It was just for me an exciting game, and I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed being able to bring this to everybody today. That said, if you liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It makes a huge difference for the channel. Hit the notification button, change it to all, you'll be notified of new content such as this. Please leave a comment down below. Did you own this game? Did you play this game growing up? You know, is this something that you play still today? I love to hear all the experiences about this. And, you know, DOSBox as well. Do you use DOSBox quite a bit as in your day-to-day today, even on newer hardware? Let me know down in the comments. I love reading all the comments. I respond to absolutely every one of them. I love the interaction on the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Always making new content. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.